Guess who? Oh, wait, hold up. You already know who it is. Never mind. All right, that's a bad joke. Anyway, what is it? What it is? What's up, guys? It's why so serious? What ifs here? Back up with another video. It's Shazam. What if that was Shazam part? I think this is part 4. I don't remember. But anyways, that's gonna be my catchphrase. Anyways, anyway, we're gonna be getting in. I wanna take off the mind from MHA, My Hero Academia. I want to take it off there for a minute and get into the whole Shazam thing, because I've got to get into the whole Rock of Eternity and what it is and crap. You probably already know what it is, because half of you probably DC simps. Anyways, so I gotta get in the premise and have Deku get more familiar with the Rock of Eternity instead of just having it there, because the Rock of Eternity is in his universe now, because interdimensional crap to send Dark Side, Black Adam to another dimension, but it fucks it up. So like where we left off, it was a heroes versus villain shit, and this is hero versus villain stuff, and Deku going to see his girl, going to see if she's okay and stuff. Unlike Endeavor, who beats his woman and abuses his children, and all right. Unlike Endeavor, he's actually going to take care of her and is going to try to create some quirk monster that's going to be all dark and shadowish for the most of his life before meeting a young green-haired boy who's going to change his mind about most of his life. But I don't know. Maybe not. After going to check up on her, yada, yada, she's doing her thing. She's not actually home, she's like, yeah, she's going to be home, because why not? Why not? I don't even know where the hell she lives. Anyway, if she even has a home. Well, I know she's homeless. Anyway, get familiar with Rock of Eternity and stuff like that, and then we'll jump in the USJ arc. Deku like walks to the door. In the Rock of Eternity, he closes the door. Basically, the Rock of Eternity is basically two rocks from heaven and hell that collided into each other, and boom, Rock of Eternity. Source of all magic, yada yada yada. You remember in the last video how I said Deku inherited the wizard's power after the wizard died? Yeah, we're gonna get on his powers he inherited from the wizard. First off, the powers he inherited from the wizard, I'm not sure how it totally works yet, but if it works like I think it works, like it does with Black Adam and stuff, then by inheriting his powers, the wizard also drew his powers from in the New 52 thing, whatever the hell it was, he drew his power from other gods, but I don't know their names, so I'm not gonna involve them. Basically, what I'm saying, he's gonna inherit or more powers. Just basically, he's gonna inherit the same powers that he has already. Just can be just enhanced. Like the Wisdom, Solomon, Straight of Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, Mercury, and he's gonna get extra power. Because the guy who the Shazam wizard, Marklin, whatever his name was, he was a god apparently. That's the one I'm going off. He was a god. He was the lightning god, or whatever the hell his name was, whatever the hell. He was like master of the mystic arts, not Doctor Strange type stuff, but he did magic and stuff like that. He had magic resistance and stuff like that. That's a power he's inheriting, and Deku's gonna be messing with some spells and stuff, like that. He's gonna be messing with spells, today in this episode of Mythbusters. Anyways, he's at the Rock of Eternity. He's exploring the place. They got the little council thing where all the thrones and stuff is. He's basically looking into like a big ass library. I'm not sure if it has a library, but just a bunch of books and spells and stuff, in runes and stuff. Basically, Deku gonna get himself decked out with some runes and on the go scrolls that have spells in them, and it's endless like the pocket dimension belt he has, like I mentioned in like part 2 or 3, either one of those ones. He's exploring his spell, he's exploring the thing, he's like some charms and stuff. He's reading into the charms. Just to make Deku just not a bit or more OP, but getting him ready and suited for his little next quest or whatever the next phase. He's gonna get like a notification, like a magic detecting rune, or like detecting the demons and stuff that are getting into the world. Like I mentioned befting like getting one of those, because he hasn't run into one of them yet. But when he does, he has to be prepared. So he's gonna get like that. He gets the rune and like it puts an enchant on him. So when someone else that is most likely like him, like using magic or is a demon, or is one of the guys, one of Black Adam's guys, or is one of the seven deadly sins, or is basically not from the world and is very powerful like him. A signal will go off, and on his gauntlet, one of his gauntlets, specifically on the left hand, if you turn it over like Bruce Banner did in the Incredible Hulk, like how the watch upside down, they just look like there'll be a red inscription written in ancient magic, ancient in the ancient language that Deku understands because he's been studying with the Wisdom of Solomon. It glows in red if it's like a possible threat, and it glows in yellow if it's an ally or just a foe that is just not interested in harming him. And basically, it'd be more of a notifier, basically like that, And Deku would get a few other charms, like maybe like a revival charm for people that that fall down to in battle and death, like a revival charm that they have to be administered at least 2 minutes upon death, or else it won't work. Because, when you're dead, you're dead. And since he inherits the wizard's power, he also has the ability to travel within heaven and hell and a bunch of other stuff. I looked up on it. I did my research for the wizard's power, because I remembered that I gave him his power. And I'm like, I never learned what his powers were. And like, why not? I didn't learn a lot, but I learned a little bit. A little bit of research, and some of my brain molecules were born in making this video. He can travel through heaven and hell. He's gonna get like a few wrist braids because just brute strength and power is gonna help. We gotta be like more decked out. You can get some blades built into his gauntlets, like a built-in shield, just in case he has to do something dangerous or like risking his life. And he's basically enchanting himself. The staff that I mentioned? He can do way more powerful spells with that. So he puts an enchant on the lightning bolt, the glowing lightning bolt. Not the one in this picture. Because the one I'm going off is he got a giant lightning bolt that's glowing always on his chest. He's just giving himself the ability to summon the staff out of the lightning bolt. Basically making him even more powerful. And basically not interdimensional storage, but able to summon just some magical items out of there. And just why not just deck him out? Just have his belt be trapped up with charms and runes and stuff. He basically has a rune that it temporarily stuns people, or he can absorb their attacks and just like launch it into energy, and just basically giving himself basically a bit of a stat boost. Basically, he's able to temporarily launch that attack back out based on how much power and speed they put into it. Like if they launched it for at least 45 seconds, he has that a limited amount of time to launch it back at him. It's not like a little time thing. It just once they launch the attack, the rune absorbs the damage, and he can launch it back. No, that's too powerful. That's too OP. He's already OP enough. No, get rid of that rune. Why not? Let's get rid of that rune. Let's have him magical stuff. Let's have him like put like a few things in his right wrist gauntlet. A few things that I'm not gonna mention yet because I still haven't come up with those yet. Basically, just have interdimensional storage case. We put some extra things in there. He's getting decked out. He's gonna be out there like. Everybody dance down, cringe. The Grubhub app, that just cringe like that Grubhub app. Anyway, he's leaving the little library. He's got his books and stuff like temporary spells, like other stuff. Basically, he's exploring like the jail cell, and basically he learns like how you deal with very bad people, like either sending them to punishment or a bunch of other stuff. Like the other people, Anyway, Deku also inheriting a lot of power from the guy. He's actually been a lot stronger than normal Shazam would have been, like, including the power that he got from the wizard. That is some OP magic, bro. And the fact that he can perform spells is just silly insane, bro. Anyway, let's leave the Rock of Eternity for now. What? You just did a little exploration into it, Leave the Rock of Eternity, go back to Earth. He's on his patrols and everything. And USJ thing is gonna happen in at least a day in due time. Basically, Deku's gonna have another cut in a little greetings with All Might. Run in with All Might. Another invitation to kick All Might's ass. But yeah. Basically, Deku, he's flying, doing his thing, He's doing his thing. I keep saying that a lot. I gotta stop saying that. I gotta get a new catchphrase. He's flying over the city, making sure no evildoers are doing their thing. Anyway, All Might's like, Detroit, smash! Punches him in the face. Doesn't do anything. Boom. Doesn't do anything. All Might Deku just like, okay. He just picks up All Might and he throws him down. And for the next 15 minutes, the press is like Shazam versus All Might. You know, his fan base has gone up. Like, he beat the #1 hero. Like, wow. They said from his fan base has dropped. He's like, he like literally beat the #1 hero. But then, like, doing all this other stuff is like lifting a building with one hand. He may not have like the little wind pressure All Might does, but he makes up for it in his lightning attacks, in his speed attacks. Like, phew. Basically, after this 15 minutes of fighting is over, and you don't know a lightning bolt is heard, and the fight was over like a long time ago. But lightning bolt is heard. Multiple lightning bolts are actually heard. Like lightning. Like lightning is like going like All Might is throwing through buildings. Like before that, he's going through buildings like being slammed everywhere. Deku just like calling down lightning all over his head. He summoned 6, but All Might was like. And he got back up, went at him, and like it didn't end, and the fight ended when these repeated lightning bolts were heard. Just repeated lightning bolts, and then the last final lightning bolt was heard after about a few minutes. People assumed like a little bit of a shockwave. A shockwave was created through a punch that Deku threw that he missed with All Might, and it hit the building, like clearly destroyed it. But after that, it's silence for like a few minutes before All Might is thrown to another building as he's tossed up in the air, and then they land down somewhere in the thing. And basically, after that, a lightning bolt was heard. A lightning bolt was heard, and his Deku was just off on his way. Basically after that, boom. I didn't know how to like end the fight, since I would have ended with Deku knocking out All Might, but if his secret is revealed, he's gonna be fucked. But anyway, I didn't know how to end that sequence, so. Let's cut to the USJ, thing. It's happening today. Everyone's getting on the bus like, yo-de-do-de-doo. Or Deku's like getting on the bus like, yo-de-do-do. He's not really focused on right now because he's busy trying to deal with Miracle, He's got things he's got to do with Miracle. He got a same plan the other day. He can't spend too much time away from her because he'd be like, more like he's like getting real demoted into this. It's like the first real relationship he's had since he's actually gotten somewhere in his life. They're on the bus, they're doing things, they're driving there like, yeah. They're driving there, like they're talking about their quirks and how Bakugo can be like the number, like his temperature is always his temper is all in the way. Just like, who was it again that said it? I think it was Suyu, right? I don't fucking know, but whoever did it is be like, Deku, your quirk is almost like Shazam's. Killed me to say that, bro. I wanted to do it in Suyu voice. I think she's the one that said it, but it killed me to try to do it. She's she's like, your quirk is a little bit like the Shazam guy. You got lightning, you got speed, you got strength. You can take massive amounts of hits without having going down. You're like, yeah. It's like there's no, this is just a coincidence. Like Bakugo's like doing his can like, excuse me. They get there, everything goes, everything would happen, All Might reached his limit, which is actually going to be 2 hours now, because, 2 hours, or whatever the hell. All Might's time limit was shortened because of the fight with Deku, but, anyway, his timeline was shortened, and Deku, like, being a genius by now, he's like, okay, All Might ran out of his time. Deku is like, he's seen it like briefly. All Might went to a Small Might form and then took off for a little second. He's like, who was that small, skinny guy? He went looking back for All Might, but All Might showed up out of nowhere, and then after that, Toshinori pushed himself back into the form, which shortened his time limit. Then come back to the present, like, okay, that small guy is All Might. Okay. I'm not sure if he already knows that or not. I forgot. I haven't seen the first, second, or third video yet, or again, to be exact. As the portal opens and Shigaraki and all those people are like stepping out of the portal, and as soon as the Nomu comes out, Deku's arm begins to glow with the red hieroglyphic thing, like the charm he has. And basically, it's like he's like panicking. He has to hide it though, because if he shows that off, he's gonna be real toast. He's like panicking because he's never experienced that before. It's basically one of them. one, basically a demonic demon, whatever the hell you want to call it, just got inside of the Nomu, and basically had it been going undercover just so he can, like, get Deku, because, his power is basically being reading by the undercover ones that are, like, thousands of the motherfuckers. And from this day on, Deku's gonna have countless encounters with the guys. He has his ways, of somehow gonna be tracking danger like Goku is, but, or was. Because it's just for Dragon Ball, right? I don't know. I don't remember. Like, his runes going off and he's panicking because he's never actually dealt with a situation like this. Basically, from the books, these guys are supposed to be just as strong as him, or as he would be, because Deku is 2 times stronger, or might as well 3, because of the boost and whatever the hell. Like, 3 times stronger than he, or... Yeah. He would be at least 2 times stronger than a normal Billy Batson would be, or anyone else with the Shazam power would be. He's panicking, but he's like calming himself down because the courage to kill is just like, I shall not. He's ready for a fight. They're teleported everywhere. Deku's teleported to the pawn thing with Mineta and Tsuyu. Because Mineta didn't get expelled because Mineta's a pretty funny character, and believe it or not, Deku will probably be dead without Mineta if you think about it. Because and you think about it, and you just call me an idiot in the comments, and then I'll just listen to that. But still, I think Deku will be dead without Mineta. Because there's a few reasons, because Deku couldn't handle one for all and shit, but whatever. Anyways, they're there, but the water isn't a problem for Deku, because Deku can partially fly, not partially fly, but levitate, which he's doing to get out of there. And since a bit of his Shazam power is in his little form, it's a bit easier for him to, like, sit there, because he can go for, like, at least about 40 minutes before he actually needs oxygen. No, his team's too small. About at least an hour before he needs oxygen. Nah, screw it. He can stay in there for at least 3 hours before he actually needs oxygen. Which is very, very, very OP. But anyway, if he was, like, an underwater creature or something, whatever. The Nomu, like, the demon-possessed Nomu doesn't notice Deku because, Deku is actually also carrying a rune on him to hide his magic from, like, anyone else. Let's say this particular one has a magic sense, that just can detect you if you're using magic, which is getting a faint reading from, like, outside of the USJ. We'll get into that later. Like yards and yards outside of the USJ. It isn't getting anyone in here because Deku's, like, being prepared just in case he gets surprise attacked and he's not in his surprise attacked in his Shazam form. You can probably not even hear me. Oh my god, I'm probably talking too fast. Anyways, like, Deku's, like, doing this. They're all doing what they did in Canada. Tsuyu saves Deku, puts him on the thing. Not saves him, because Deku will probably knock out the guy if Tsuyu didn't come out. But anyway, puts him on the boat. Deku has a plan. But since he doesn't have the wind pressure, he has to resort to lightning, which electrocuting these guys like the fish is going to be real ease. It does go what it did in Canon, because Tsuyu jumps, they latch on, and Deku, like, just charges up his arm with lightning, and he sends a massive bolt down, which catches the Nomu's attention, because it's not mindless like it would be, because it's being possessed right now. Catches his attention, but, like, doesn't sense the magic, so probably one of these quirks. Because the universe they're from, people don't normally have abilities like that. Like, most of the planet don't have abilities like that, which is, like, a benefit for most of them, because most of them are pretty weak demons before they meet people with pretty strong powers. I should say a few heroes possessed with this, let's just say. Anyway, they're doing their, did everything they did in canon. Except the Nomu is gonna listen to Shigaraki until the power of Shazam is revealed, or anyone else with magic is in the air. Because as soon as that happens, you're no longer in his control, because he's, like, undercover. The Nomu did everything it did in canon, but Shigaraki does die because the Nomu will be stronger. And once the quirk of the Nomu got canceled out, the power of the demon would just be like, okay, what is that supposed to do? I'm like 8 times, I'm like 100 times stronger than this thing already. So, like, kill you off. Like everyone's shocked at this. As Deku's like, no. As the Nomu's like, boom. They're going for Tsuyu's face, but the fucking I was dead for too dead for this to for him to cancel the quirk. So Deku does the hero thing, and in the pit of panic, he uses as much power as he can to get over to Suyu. And at that exact moment, he balls up his fist and he puts his arm where Shigaraki's hand is. Where his hand is. You know, Deku's that type of person. Like, you know, he's over the course of the few whatever the hell you want to call it, a few months or whatever. He's learned something. Do what you can to save people from suffering that you would never want to experience. In order to save her from suffering that she wouldn't even want to ever feel, you know, like, do it for her, you know, basically. Stop her from feeling a pain that will probably be the last thing she ever feels. Just think about it, you know. Knowing that your last final moments will probably be your painfulest. Like, just imagine that and just be in Suyu specifically. Because I probably would do the same thing. I mean, I lose my arm, but screw it. Your last thing to her that you feel is pain. It's not like you'd be like bad for you, because the last thing you feel is pain before just going to the hospital and losing your arm. For her, it'd be last few minutes of pain in you know, like, if you look at these movies and how angered spirits stuff died in horrific, whatever the hell, horrible ways, you know, are basically all just haunty and demony because of it. You know, just imagine it like that, you know, just having a Deku not want that to happen to her, because why not? He puts his arm out and he takes it, which is like, what the hell? Like, Suyu is like, what the fuck? And Shigaraki is like, you got some damn balls, kid. And Deku just loads up his arm with electricity and just gives Shigaraki the biggest shock you're ever gonna feel, sitting him backwards. Before he looks at the Nobu and he's like, I'll take you on any day now. And as he delivers a punch to the Nomu, which is gonna do some damage, do some damage, because Deku is like, because of the power boost, he's just as strong in his kid form. He's gonna send the Nomu back, or the Domu, because the demon possessed. You know, he hits it in the jaw and he sends it backwards, which isn't enough to truly get it off of him. And basically, you know, All Might has already been coming on his way, because Ida. And Ida's, let's just have Ida just like, you know, like, I'm not sure if Ida came back, I don't remember, but you know, Ida stayed back or whatever the hell he did at the UA, and All Might's on his way, and for the next thing you hear a lightning bolt, you know, and then as soon as you hear the lightning bolt, the door's open, and then you look over, and then you see this. A orange lightning bolt standing there in the doorways, and then as they look up, is it Shazam? They're like, some people probably think it's Shazam because some of them probably be big fans of Shazam, or at least big fans of Shazam and All Might. I feel like I talk too fast. They see like someone who appeared to be Shazam, which is like, then you look up to see like what would appear to be All Might, and then as it comes closer, you know. And just for the sake of it, let's have All Might's costume fuse with the transformation. Because you already knew I was getting at like a long time ago, right? Yeah. Anyways. You know, like, Deku just like walks in. I mean, not Deku, but All Might just walks in. He's like, his costume fused with it, which is like pretty badass. As the cape color would still be the same. You know, let's change the cape color too. Let's have the cape color be like a mix of the colors of the thing. Because why not have... No, just have it be white, because that's just too much. It just doesn't look badass and godly. You know, All Might walks in. You know, he's got this little thing on his arm with the glow and the red. On his right arm instead, you know. Because you knew where I was getting at too, right? He walks in, you know, in this form, All Might is like healed. He doesn't have his wound, you know how I'm getting at. He can use 100%. He's back where his prime was. And he's even stronger, too, because of the power of the gods, you know? Like, he's noticed this because of the fact that he hasn't ever used the power before. He just only had a brief look at it, you know? Because he was told not to use it because it might draw some unwanted attention. But since he got the room, because Deku, like... Let's cut to, like, the day before. You know, it was on that rooftop. And Deku, All Might kicked back into a small Might form for the second time. And Shazam, like his courage of Achilles and the wisdom of Sodom was like, it takes over. Like, Deku is still him, but he's just talking without thinking, you know, like, Toshinori Yagi, whatever the hell his name is, Toshinori Yagi, You are just one of the purest of heart people I've seen, and you're going to great lengths to try to defeat me so that you can keep this city safe. And I respect you very much. And All Might just looking at him like, what? And then he does what All Might did. He takes a step forward. He holds out his arm, and no one's watching. Because they're like still wondering where the hell they are. Like, I find you worthy to inherit my power. And I was like, what the? He's like, excuse me, what did you just say to me? And he like, there's like a few seconds go by before All Might is caught up because he's like, okay. So you want me to inherit the power? Yes. So he explains the word, the meaning of his name, Shazam. Like, you put out every word into a line, and you start it from the beginning. The S in his name stands for the wisdom of Solomon. The H stands for the strength of Hercules. The A, you know where I'm getting at here. I don't want to feel like going through that again. Basically, just All Might, Deku was like, and I find you words to inherit my power. You probably won't accept because you have one for all. And he's like, excuse me, how the hell do you know about one for all? And I'm like, like, I know a lot of things because of the wisdom of Solomon. He gives him a solid reason why he should take his power, because there's a bunch of things in this world who are just as strong as him, and you're not as strong as him. And if you can't defend yourself, then you won't be able to stay the #1 hero. You'll die along with your successor. Which by now he already knows who his successor is, which is Bakugo. So he's not a dumbass. Like, Bakugo would die by the hands of the people who are the reason I am me. He doesn't tell him that he got the powers. He just tells him that basically some fib that he started this like a sort of fib, like he just fights these things because they're here to take over the planet. There's thousands and hundreds of them, and there's 7 particular ones that are really gonna get on your nerves or his nerves, because they're gonna be a bit stronger because they're gonna take over someone's body that isn't gonna be worth it. Fucking hell. Anyway, like, All Might will accept because Deku explains that you'll be able to take the costume off in this form. No. Take a step back. He basically explains that you will be healed from your wound, and the power will be bestowed upon you as a living lightning will transform you into Shazam. Which he won't be as strong as Deku, because Deku is obviously just dividing him in the power, like bestowing the power on him. He won't be as strong as Deku, because Deku will always be stronger than All Might. But he might do more damage to Deku, though, than he already does. But All Might is basically shocked at the fact that he does say his name, he doesn't hit the power, as All Might gets up, has his costumes merged with the suit. Why not? Why not? It's badass. Basically, All Might he just says, your power is fully restored. Basically, I don't feel like getting into detail, but All Might, he's given a rune that will cast a spell on him. Basically, he explains that a word will spell out on your right gauntlet, and or your hand, depending on what form you're in. And if the words are in red, then you are in danger, or someone else is in danger because something else on another power level, like mine or yours, will be in the vicinity. And if it's yellow, then it will detect someone who isn't much of a threat or a foe. Or it wasn't orange or yellow. I think it was yellow. Who is not a threat and is more or less just like me. And basically, Basically, you see it. Hurry up and transform, because Deku explains that he doesn't have a magic room suppressing his magic. They'll sense. It depends on what type they are, and if they sense you, they will come for you. So you gotta be prepared. Yeah, like, Deku gets all this before anything else can happen. Deku's gone. He's telling All Might to get out of the form because it could be a grave danger to you. Right now, anyway. Just cut back to the present. All Might is like kind of prepared for what's going on. He doesn't have an experience. And he just have some experience. Like, he can't just have an unexperienced All Might, the #1 hero, walk into battle without knowing what the hell he's gonna do. Basically, after the day is over and in the middle of the night, All Might is summoned by Deku through the wrist thing, because more of a message spells out. But somehow All Might can read it, because it's magic, bro. And basically, the door opens. He's like, "Come on, Toshinori, it's time to train." And throughout that night, they did train together in Shazam form, because they don't need sleep in that form. Basically, All Might is returned to his prime and is like, wow. And due to his increased strength, he actually could put up a fight towards Deku. Before Deku, went serious and started kicking his ass. But anyway, Deku is going to study martial arts, because with the new upcoming threat of the demons and stuff, he's got to be more prepared. And so is All Might, because All Might's got to be prepared about that shit too. basically, yeah, and cut back to the present. All Might's getting ready to fight because he thinks about it. Like there will be villains. There will be entities just as strong as me and you. It's just as strong as me and you. And be wary. They are demons. They will play tricks on you, and they could even be possessing the people close to you. In their power and the abilities of the host they will take will be just way more of a greater danger. And he also explains that you do not have to worry because anyone wielding our power will not be possessed due to its magical protection. Like All Might is like a bit more happy because he's not gonna get possessed in the middle of his sleeping or anything. And just like it did in canon, Aizawa is dead because there's no point in saving him. He does save him, and he's noticed that Aizawa is lying there lifeless. It's like, no. Let's go back to Deku over there on the thing. He is regenerating just a tad bit. He's gonna be a little bit before he gains control of his arm again. He's like, no. Then he sets. He come up to All Might. He's like, no. When he sets, the villain, taking out the villains, he was even faster because of the speed of Mercury. He's going 100% one for all with this shit, bro. Basically, the Nomu is gonna be basically the same case against Deku in canon. Because the Nomu would just be as strong and somewhat powerful because of the shock absorption. It'd be the same as it did in canon, but just the same thing it did in canon. With All Might rushes out there, he's so fast. You see his after shadow, literally. To them, he's still standing at the USJ at the entrance as everyone else is going down. As the speed is pushing wind at high speeds, high speeds, And the Nomu is finally, a real challenge. And he says it aloud, Kirigiri and Shigaraki, what? I thought the Nomu was supposed to be brainless. And he says, I will no longer be in command, gray-haired human. I shall now fill out my conquest and destroy this champion. They're fully aware of what this stuff is, most of them are, but not all of them. And basically, after his after shadow appeals, he's basically a blur as he's putting down Aizawa and he's going up to the Nomu. And basically the same thing occurs in canon, except everyone's wondering what's with the costume change. Why is he dressed like Shazam? Is they noticing how fast he actually is now? How fast he actually is. The speed is more. You see his after shadow, a minute after he's moved, boom, 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 that fast. That intense speed, everything goes in canon where he takes the hit for Bakugo and stuff. Everything goes in canon except the shockwaves and the hits that are going between him and the Nomu are powerful. They're ripping the USJ in half, He's shooting at 100%, and he's going beyond. When it goes everything the same, except All Might is more or less flying. And when he hits him over there, he flies up higher in the air so he can throw him down. And Nomu was actually flying and doing just amount of attack as well. Since there'd be different forms of demon stuff, this demon particular element is being able to manipulate the air around him, which is just as equivalent as All Might's quirk. One for all. Basically, when he slams to the ground this time, there's a bigger. Jeez, I can't talk. There's a bigger crater, and the wind pressure and everything is everywhere. Everyone looking at All Might land down and charging up the biggest lightning bolt you could ever see, just like Shazam does. And one for all added on to that, go beyond, Bloody Sea, Ultra. I would get into more of a picture with that, but I don't know how to say that in Japanese. I just know how to say smash, and that's all. In Detroit, in Texas, and stuff like that. I can't say anything else besides that. And Konnichiwa, and Kunosai, and All Might, and other than that, I can't say anything else in Japanese, because I don't know Japanese. But when he goes to hit the Nomu, that side of the USJ is taking off. It's off the ground, boom! And the Nomu is not coming back into the atmosphere. Just cut to a little flashback, and if you come and counter it, do not show mercy, because it will not show mercy if you let your guard down. And if it's taking control of a human, you must use a special spell to kick the demon out of the body, then you have a better chance of going all out on it. Usually, the Wisdom of Solomon kicks into All Might's head. Not human. Because the Deku's taking precaution that All Might doesn't find out his identity, but basically using a bunch of spells to that not completely be immune to Wisdom Soul, but evert it off of him so it doesn't work on him. You know, basically that's basically what he's going at right now. When he punches the Nomu, the wind pressure is so hard that it takes off a part of the USJ's roof, and it sends the Nomu out of the atmosphere as a lightning bolt is basically fried him half to death. And the demon he's basically just like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this human? What the fuck is this mortal? What is this champion? Basically, basically, what the fuck is this mortal? And he's sent out of the atmosphere, burning up in the atmosphere, and basically he's just burnt up and dead. The Nomu's dead. No more Nomu. He's dead. Basically, everyone else is like, who the hell was that brain dude? He was moving so fast, like, Manetalik. It was All Might. Such power and stuff. Like, oh, it was just like a movie in the video game. He kicked the shock absorption right out of him. Oh, it's the power like that. That's how you get to be pro and imagine the power like that. But Bakugo doesn't say it because he has the power, Like, why not? Mirio will get one for all eventually. He already has, but, Like, after that, he's like, you've been bested, villains. And, like, since he's not like he wasn't canon, like, smoke doesn't appear because he's just filling up just in the zone right now. Like, it's over, villains. You've been bested. Since this fight didn't take as long as it did in canon, Shigaraki still tries to steal this shot, but the heroes don't show up because they're going to be here like a bit later because the fight isn't that long as it was in canon. So, yeah, because All Might was a bit stronger, and yeah. If Shigaraki was in charge, All Might is after Shadow is like right there, but it appears that All Might hasn't moved yet. And then Shigaraki takes a blow to the gut and is sit up in the air and let the land back on Kirigiri, and Kirigiri goes to catch him. But I've said that I've learned about physics. You don't grab someone from that height yet that you push them to you know what I mean if you Google it or something. Basically what I'm saying, if someone's falling from a really, really high height, don't try to catch them, try to push them to stop the momentum so they don't actually go splat or break your arms in the process. Anyways, he goes to catch him, but that's a bad idea because he falls on him. All Might's after shadow disappears as All Might just like basically the whole thing on his arm disappears because it turns off. It turns off basically. It just turns off. It's good. He's like that's good. No other university. Basically just like that. Deku's arm is just going off though because All Might is just right there. His arm is going off. Oops. Oh, my arm's going off again. It's keeping his arms close to him because that's the same arm he used to protect Tsuyu. That's kind of the perfect cover since he's still regenerating from it. Tsuyu kind of sees a bit of the regeneration as lightning is covering his wound, slowly regenerating him. Everything happens like that. Everything else happens. Blah 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 blah. And when the heroes show up, they do cover All Might because they think he's gonna deform eventually. It's been too long. All Might has no need for it because he flies over and says, no need. Everything goes by like it did in canon, blah, 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 blah. So All Might's wondering why most of the people are wondering why he was dressed like that, dressed like Shazam, boom. Dressed like that. It was a month or something, right? Well, it's going to be accelerated time because the USJ is toast, bro. USJ is toast. Oh, and Shigaraki and Kirigi do get arrested because that hit set him off. No, that's letting me free. Because a bigger battle's going to come up soon. Yeah, bigger battle's going to come up soon. They get away, but Kirigiri is out for the count though, because he's fucked up. He is hella fucked up. Obviously, the next day, they're all on break, or wherever the hell they were on, because of the whole shit stuff. Deku transforms into Shazam and goes to get All Might so they can train together. Because All Might still hasn't mastered the power, done mastering it like Deku has. Because all Might can do is throw little lightning bolts out of his hand, and like Zeus can. Other than that, he can't do that. He's got to work with Deku. Over this time period, they're training together because they both get stronger. Because Deku's gonna get learning experience from this, going up with an opponent just as strong as him, to learn tricks and stuff. And because they're trying to learn martial arts, they give them the upper hand. Because when the stronger foes come up, they can be more prepared. And All Might's always asking about this like whole little thing they have to be doing because where they're training at, they're training on like in the middle of nowhere, like training there. Deku's learned a bit, like more or less, like when he chose a spot and he placed a door down, like for easy travel. He picked the spot a long time ago, anyway, because where he's been training recently. Because with All Might, because he's not gonna take All Might to the place, the Rock of Eternity just yet until today. Like how does what is his power, his power of the gods and stuff like that, until Deku finally takes him to the Rock of Eternity. As he enters the place, he's like, what the fuck? Deku's like, this is the Rock of Eternity, the source of all magic. I really love saying that for some reason. Like, source of all magic. Let's cut to like a few seconds and just imagine the clock in your hand just moving forward like a few seconds, and then 50 minutes later on the thing pops up. Like All Might's like well acquainted with like a small point of it until they get to the throne room and they said, this is where the Council of Trinity. It's either Council of Wizards of Eternity. I might do both. I might say that. I might say both. Like Deku might say both. The Councils of Eternity, the Councils of Wizards. Call it whatever you want. Just don't call it late for dinner. It was a bit of a joke, but All Might doesn't laugh at it because he's All Might. He's like adult, Anyways, it's like he explains to him that there once was a council, and basically how the power is passed on. This is where he's gonna open up to All Might just a bit, Basically, like he does what the wizard did. He puts on a light show. And basically, like long ago, they chose a champion, and they chose righteously and stuff, and released 7 deadly sins. And this is like 7 deadly sins. That sounds like something out of a fairy tale. You caught the words there, right? And as the light show disappears, it goes back on, disappears, and Deku says, "It is our job as Earth's mightiest protector so far, to stop those from getting out." And he points over, and then All Might sees a bunch of statues. It says those are the 7 deadly sins. They currently aren't mobile right now because they're stuck in a statue-like form until someone unworthy will come and pick it up and take the power, and battle will come on. He explains how Billy Batson, how Billy Batson and his family once defeated him. Because they're in a different universe, and that family is all dead and stuff. He explains how they all died because of Black Adam and his Black Order, or whatever the hell. Basically, how they have to have a whole team assembled before he gets here. He explains to him that in order to effort to stop him again, the wizard decided not to send him to the farthest star again. He explains how Black Adam is and what he did, because he already knows. He's done his research, and the wizard told him. He explains how he sent him out here. He's not gonna explain everything because he's not gonna say all this to All Might. Because what? Screw it. Let's say all this. No. Yeah, let's say it all to All Might. He says this power was not originally here. He explains this power did not exist on this plane of existence. He tells All Might that this power existed in another universe. That's why he's not heard of here. He's like, oh wait, what? Another universe? You never even heard of Billy Batson or the original Shazam, or the Justice League or anything. Deku doesn't know about the Justice League because it's not really a major priority. Basically explains here, the wizard tried to stop at Black Adam by sending him to a warp gate to get him into the abandoned dimension with nothing in it. But he messed up and sent it to this one. And if he didn't do anything about it, Black Adam would have caused more havoc. So basically, he teleported the Rock of Eternity here, the source of our magic, and do that. The whole for the demons and stuff we're getting through is currently unknown. The location is unknown, and the wizard knew, but he never got to share that information. And basically, it's our job to locate it and seal it up so that this world must be safe. Basically, he tells All Might that now that you have inherited the power of Shazam, you will have to be just like me, protecting the universe, because where there's always great power, there's always great responsibility. And one day there will be a greater threat, more mightier than us, that will require more than just 2. Basically, And that threat is coming really, really, really soon. It will be here within a year's time, which is a lie, because I don't know. It'll basically be here within 2 years of a time. Basically, basically explains, a bunch of other stuff, blah, 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 blah. Oh, and Izawa's still dead, right? I forgot to revive him, because, yeah. Come back to the USJ. Deku was, texting a message to him, through the thing. As it writes out, giving you a rune, and a rune pops out of All Might's chest, more of a teleportation thing. Because Deku had to sneak that into his palm so he can teleport. It took a lot of his energy to do it though, because he can't just pop it out of there, you know. He teleports it out of All Might. All Might catches it, and like he goes there and says they chant these like things, you know, but chant these things but quietly, so they cause so much problems, you know. Basically, he did it, you know. All Might Zawa's back revived. He has a boost though. He doesn't have dry eyes anymore. He doesn't have dry eyes anymore because give Zawa a boost, because that guy looks like he's always high off coffee. The rune is runed off as it like vanishes out of thin air. And basically, you come back to the future, and basically, All Might's like describing that. Basically, he takes him to the hall of the library where all the runes are, and basically tells All Might to get what he needs. Because once they get here, it's gonna be real havoc and stuff. Basically, they're both searching into the library, and they're covering runes that will help them in battle. Like a bit like just runes and stones and enchantments and things. They're even enchanting their equipment, you know, like enchanting their like their gear and stuff to like be able to take our stuff. All Might's got his gear uploaded and stuff. Like and just to be like more like awesome. Yeah. They're a little legit. Like their little gauntlet can pop out a sword or shield if it needed to. But anyway, let's come back to the thing. You know, they basically explains to All Might that you must also find others that are worthy to inherit this power. Basically, he just wants to tell him now that your successor is not one of them. Basically says, it's fine that Bakugo has one for all, but if you give him the power of the gods, I will literally snap. He's seen that guy, he's seen that kid action throughout the years, and he's literally not the person who should be worthy of inheriting the powers of God. Inheriting powers of a god. Basically, Deku has basically become a god because of the power he inherited from the wizard, the original. Because that guy was a god, so Deku would basically become a god when he's in this form. And a demigod when he's not in the form. More something like that. You know, All Might is still immortal because he's just immortal inheriting the powers of a god, but he's not like Deku. Basically, he tells him not to do it. Basically, All Might's like, kind of like, oh, like he starts to think about it like for a second, like maybe that's for the better. He can have one for all, but it's not this. This is on an otherworldly level. Like he basically tells him, "You beat me twice with this power, and if he had it, he'd probably just go crazy on that Zuko, on Midoriya." Like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, as he scratches his head, like being like, he would, yeah, he would. Anyway, basically, it's his job to also find those who are worthy. He basically says, not Bakugo or Endeavor, not those two. They may be very powerful, but power is what we're looking for. People who are good and know what to do in types of battle. He's like, Bakugo is a good choice, and he will do what's right in the course of battle, but it's just not a good choice with just having it personality-wise. You know, like, no. Hell no. And neither is Endeavor, because he's power-hungry to surpass you. If he gets his power, he may actually manage it. You know, if he gets his power, it's going to be an ongoing battle between the two of you. Cause, like, he's going to be arguing like he's the better hero and stuff like that. And just for the hell of it, let's give All Might a rune to up his quirk, basically, just to enhance it, just a tad bit. You know, because why not? Is he like, hell no, not any of them. Maybe Hawks, maybe that hero Hawks, or anyone else. But we can't just be all trusting yet, because we don't know if these guys, you know, are possessed by demons. Any one of them can be possessed by demons. And it's like Deku's like, any one of them. He's like, miracle. But he puts this aside for now because he's got All Might to like mentor. Like he's giving All Might like the magic's hide rune and stuff. You know, he tells All Might, they get more. But they cast a spell on themselves because I don't know what's going on anymore. I'm losing all my sense of mobility, whatever the hell you want to call it. Basically, they got little channel connected where they can talk to each other by making a message on the wrist and sending it to each other. Deku tells All Might that he might not be available at all times because he got other things he's about to do. So if you do message him and he doesn't respond, like urgently, it might be because he's like not here. And he also explains to All Might that you can go in space. Like that's probably where he is, exploring space while he can. You know. In at least a few years' time, space won't be a thing. So all might be destroyed or taken and conjured and stuff. And so he also tells All Might basically that well, he can probably take All Might to heaven. Basically, tell All Might that he also that Deku has the power to travel through heaven or hell. He tells him that, just to like show off a bit. And also tell him that once he fully unlocks the wizard Zeus's power, that's the one of the abilities he's not able to unlock yet. He's got most everything mastered. He tells him that once he fully unlocks Zeus's power, once they both fully unlock it, because they're like the different levels to it, not like original or ordinary Shazam. He's explained that once they originally unlock it, they'll be capable of interdimensional travel, and it's not really bad for Black Adam. It's not really bad because Black Adam has Egyptian gods, not the Greek gods. And so far, I don't know much about Egyptian mythology. I don't know much about that, so I don't know if he's capable of that. But he basically tells All Might that he doesn't possess the power of Zeus, so he shouldn't be able to complete that. If he does, we're all doomed. We're all doomed. But that goes by, and Deku is like really panicking, because like he's got a girlfriend who possibly could be possessed by by a demon that could possibly kill him at any moment. Or he's trying to kill him, and he might have to put a spell on her. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna get a wound, and he's gotta find a way to get it on her so she can like carry it around and like be protected by it. Because why not? You gotta protect the girl. Unlike Endeavor, who may probably beat her as well. Who knows? Endeavor probably be his wife. Anyways, he just like they leave because they got everything to do. All Might asks about the staff and like the source, like a really powerful artifact. If All Might, basically Deku reaches out his hand and basically throws the shit. The thing flies over to his hand. Basically, with this, you can perform extremely powerful spells that have extreme power. And this must always be protected, which he hasn't really had a chance to do. So he's finally like, it's like finally the time to try and fight to protect this thing, which he doesn't have any sort of way, because till now it's just gonna be in place. So he does his best to do it. Basically, he camouflages. No. He basically just puts it in a little vault so that he can put it back in there once he's done using it with the teleportation thing. It explains to All Might that you will also be able to use magic once you get your spells and stuff on the thing. Basically, like, okay. And Deku has a high resistance to magic because of the wizard's power. Because All Might doesn't have that. Because make All Might just as strong as Deku, but not as strong. Basically, it used to ask All Might if you're gonna try to take him into custody again. He said, All Might said, no, you're his sensei now. And basically, that's basically what it is. I mean, All Might having big flashbacks of Nana Shimura, like how she died protecting him, and he doesn't hope that happens again. As far as he knows, his new mentor, was at least a normal guy before he inherited the power, and not a 13-year-old kid who inherited this power. His Deku leaves, he leaves, he says. He also tells All Might, in order to get out of this place, you have to think of where you want to go. So be careful where you are with your thoughts. Because he walks back a few minutes and he thinks of something, then he vanishes out of just a few little vanishes of light, a few little things of light. All Might's like, Basically, as he also leaves too, because doesn't even know anything much. He knows a little bit about the place, but he's not gonna sit here and mess up something and these dangerous things. All Might has new information now. He's like, they're the only two things keeping the 7 deadly sins encaged in prison, so that they must each stay alive and do a bunch of other stuff. All Might exits out of Shazam form, basically not being able to keep up with it. But All Might doesn't know anything because All Might stopped using one for a long time ago. When he goes back, he uses the thing again. He's in a small light form. He's like confused. Then he says the words out loud. Says Shazam again, and then he transforms back into big giant All Might. Like confused because he's not using one for all. Then he uses one for all. Then he's like, huh? Then he transforms back, and then he's like, oh yeah, his wound is healed and everything. So he would basically be theoretically put back in his prime, Theoretically put back in his prime when he's in that form. He's like, he also knows he's immortal and stuff like that and everything. Let's cut back to Miracle. Deku's trying to get this wound on, obviously. He does the best way he could, but making it seem like a fashion accessory. He says he's got it for her. That's how he gets it on her, though. He gets it on. And if someone is already possessed by a demon, the wound will work, and how you know it won't work, and when it flashes with a red, it just flashes with a glow. And when it's working, it puts on an orangish glow and a reddish glow when it's not working, It puts off an orangish glow, like, okay, his girl's protected, Like, yeah. Because they have a long another night, they do the deed. I don't want to get into more serious interest into this. I'm getting tired again, basically, by now, Deku's like getting acquainted with everything. That picture finally got uploaded on the internet, like, oh my god, like the fan base of Deku of basically Shazam is going up. It's like Miracle and Shazam, Miracle and Shazam. Anyway, basically like, okay. As Miracle walks into work the next day, she like questions a little bit, but she denies it, because like basically she's dating a vigilante, she could be put out of work, so it's like bad for her image. Basically, Deku being at home, like, okay, he takes the image down, like excessive knowledge of the internet. He takes the shit down. Everything's good and dandy. He takes it down. He basically puts a virus in the CPU of the guy and explodes his computer. Explodes the computer of whoever put it up there, and basically that is that. As Deku is just more or less, okay. And let's go back to everyone else. Like, All Might's new levels of power was insane at the USJ. It was like, what the hell? What the hell? Like what the hell? Like, Baku was like, what was that power? And like, he's displayed powers of the Shazam guy. He's like, he started getting in his head, like, maybe they're related, and he wants to go find All Might and ask him questions, like, whatever. And he's like, All Might is like, Baku was like, first that useless Deku, now Shazam, now first that Deku, now All Might. He's like, First he showed up having powers like the Shazam guy. Like, he showed similarity to him as a few explosion at his face. And then All Might bursted in using attacks that are similar to his power. What the hell? He wants to question Deku now, but Deku is not nowhere to be found. Nowhere is All Might. Because the little demons have been showing up around lately. Basically, Deku and All Might are basically not in Japan. They're in Ireland. They're screwed. They explore. They're in Ireland, so Deku and Shazam are in Ireland. I mean, All Might and Deku is in Ireland. All Might and Shazam are in Ireland. Jesus. Just for this ploy, let's have them just visit like little town, a little town, little town. So like they got some new runes, so they're like tracking the magic. And since they can take their costumes, well, they're all disguised and everything. People might recognize All Might, which is why All Might's like taking extra precautions. Like, he's been really worried and like blocking his face. They don't really know Deku up here, because some people might know All Might, because All Might's Japan's #1 hero, not the world's #1 hero, just Japan's. And they might not know Deku at all, because he's just a vigilante. He's not like, he says that out loud. Some people might know you because you're Japan's #1 hero, not the world's #1 hero. He just says they might not recognize me because I'm just a vigilante, not a hero. They're walking down like, they do run into people as two giant burly men are just walking around like standard Japanese clothes, not wearing Ireland clothes. Like, you guys travelers? Like, yes. I don't know how Irish people talk, but I can do my best. If I do my best, I'm gonna sound like a leprechaun. Oh my god, I'm not gonna attempt it, bro. Anyways, they're in Ireland. They're tracking the demon, because they're both tracking. Cause they got some new rules like a map locator and map. They let off the demons and other things, like let off a specific amount of energy that only Deku and All Might will receive. Yeah. If they use their powers, they can sense it. But if they're just sitting there, just possessing anything, yeah. They track it down to just under a bridge and down to a place where a man is currently eating, but trying to eat someone alive. Eating his friend alive. As Deku and All Might do the deed, grabs the guy and lifts him up, but not going easy on the guy. Just slam him against the wall, kind of go easy. As Deku says, subdue him. We can't Deku speeds up, delivers a punch. Like, you gotta be, you want to be careful and everything, but these guys are just as strong as we are. A punch would easily just do just amount of damage just to give us a wound we won't recover from. And basically saying that almost like, oh hell no, I first get to use all of one for all again, and I gotta lose it all by just going easy on someone who's matching my strength right now. He's not gonna lose control and thing. He's just gonna subdue the guy, and they're gonna do the ritual on not ritual, but the spell, because it sounds more demonic when I say ritual. Just kick him out of the body, and the guy collapses. And basically, the demon is like kicked out of the body, like, what the hell? as he would try to possess both of them, either Deku or All Might, probably All Might. Probably try to possess All Might, but like he said, they're protected by the magic, so they can't be possessed. As he go to possess him, he just get like thrown back just a little bit by the ward off of them. You know, basically, as All Might would just deliver a Detroit Smash, blowing the guy backwards. You know, Deku would just go hit, or charge up a lightning attack. That's his thing he did with the special beam cannon, so he can do the thing. Basically, Deku says we don't have to capture these guys. We have free reign to kill them. If we don't kill them, they just find a way to get out. And trapping them in the prison is just not where to go, because trapping them is not the best way to go, you know, because trapping them is, yeah, it's not the smartest thing to go, bro. Trapping them is not the best way to go, bro, because Jesus Christ. Trapping them is not the best way to go, because you can probably trap them, but if we ever have an issue with the Rock of Eternity is initially broken into or something, they just free them all. You have to fight them all over again, and some of them might be a challenge, so it's better to kill them off. He says they're not human to begin with, and they'd kill you if they had the chance. So Deku charges up attacks and sends a nail gun through the guy's chest, throwing him back before he's about to get up again. Before All Might throws a finishing blow. Is the guy they saw is like he runs away, you know, like he's been running away, bro. They get out of there though, because you know they can't stay there long, you know. They fly off, you know, they go back to where they were at. And on the way back, you know, they just happen to just fly by just a little house with, you know, they look over for a split second, you know, and see a guy sitting at a computer with green dyed hair. You know what I'm getting at here, bro. It just makes more sense to put it their way. You know, yeah, it would make more sense to put it that way, because maybe it might just be more better if I just put it that way. A guy with green hair just like got his hands in the air, like waving them around and you know, for this sake, I'm gonna give his ability to control his quirks and be able to control the technology, because why not have a really strong quirk in a good place like this? What's up, everybody? It just a little hint, and just fly away, not paying attention to it. As the guy looks at the window like, what the fuck? Just a little hint there, you know. If you know who he is, just Jesus fucking, don't be an idiot. Anyway, they fly back to Japan. You know, they went back to where they were at and put on their costume. It's not hard to tell which one the costume is. Hideku's costume is red, while All Might's costume is red and blue, and the mix of his costume he had when he went against All For One. Mixed with those two, it's not really hard to tell what their costumes are. They put on their costume, they fly back to Japan, or just walk back to the door to Japan. You know. Go back to Japan. Throughout the entire events, they're gonna be like fighting bad guys, you know, fighting the demons and stuff. They come across other things that aren't demons, more or less just more demonic gods, or like, basically dead gods. Basically just other gods that just not doing the best that they are. The little chance of redemption they got, you know. They fight this guy in like the middle of Tennessee in the U.S. They fight this guy in the U.S. They do got the heroes outfit on, because they didn't have to go undercover for this guy, because this guy was wreaking havoc and everything. They show up and they deliver the biggest lightning bolts you're ever gonna see. All Might hasn't mastered it yet, so all he can do is launch one out of his hand. With Deku, just summons one out of the sky on his face. They go out on the guy. The guy is just more powerful than the normal one. So he gave him a challenge. Once they actually kicked them out of the guy's body, they iced him. Before anyone else could say anything, they flew off. Because they actually had to find another door, because they're being trailed. They said screw it. It is just exit through out a door they actually managed to get. They're gone. Boom. Boom. Back to Japan. They exit the doors. You know, they're doing a training montage. Anyway, they're doing a training montage. You know, they're getting stronger and stronger. As more more demons are popping up. Like, even heroes are getting possessed, you know. It's become a time where you had to fight Hawks. Secretly fight Hawks. You had to grab him without having to make a big public fuss. And kick him out of the form. Like, they're all knocked out at the occasion. Like, so they just... Deku just panicked for that one. He just tossed Hawks back on the roof after that one, you know. And just left, you know, like, boom. Hawks woke up, like, 15 minutes later. Like, what the hell happened? Last thing he remembers was jumping at him, but they're not going to worry about that now. It comes to the time of the sports festival, which I'm going to get at now, because I don't feel like saving that for another part that I won't remember. Anyway. Oh damn, they're dead. Anyway, the sports festival. You know, they have everything. I think it was Muriel fought the guy before. I think that's when they fought Muriel before 1A, right? I don't think Deku used one for at all throughout the fight because I don't think he had access to it. Yeah. Yeah, the trash can scene would do the same. I'm gonna watch My Hero Academia again. I have been watching it, but that was like 2 weeks ago because I stopped looking at it. I got bored after trying to rewatch it over. Anyways, theoretically, without magic, you could probably erase someone's quirk if you think about it. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, he probably could. They probably could. Yeah, they probably could. Deku has had running with the electrical type quirk people, and like when they talk about it, it's like his lightning quirk. He's like insanely overpowered. Like Zawa has some questions though, because like everyone said that Zawa died, and All Might did something, and Zawa woke up a few minutes later. Zawa like tried to ask All Might, but All Might's never around anymore, and so is Shazam. They're not around anymore. Like what the hell? They're busy doing other stuff. You know? There was like a sighting of All Might and Shazam in like Tennessee, but it's not anything that's looked into it. You know, they weren't really looked into. Jesus, I can't really. Jesus, I'm an idiot. Oh my god, I said it out loud. I didn't feel like say this out loud, but I feel self-conscious. No, don't hit me with it. Hit me with all the idiots. Anyway, yeah, the fight with Muriel. I'm pretty sure that happened before. They do fight Muriel, but they meet the big three. Like Deku's like he's like okay, I'm fighting demons and things, and then I gotta go up against these guys. It's like it's not a problem to him. It's not a problem to him. Like what the hell? It's not a problem to him, bro. It's not a problem. His Bakugo's getting like what the hell, and everyone else is like admiring him. Deku's like not doing anything at all, which catches the eyes of Muriel. Like the kid doesn't seem to care. And like near Muriel met him before. It was just Deku's kind of like what the hell? Your face is in the wall. Having Deku be Deku, like having had enough of being surprise attacked or something, he was actually about to throw a punch at Muriel before he had to catch himself before he actually did it. He probably would have destroyed the wall, and he wouldn't probably hit Muriel, but probably destroyed the wall. Anyways, have the dorms been created? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have, right? I don't know. I think the dorms were created after the little tiger, the training camp thing happened. I think that's when it happened anyway. They do fight the big three, and Muriel's like, why is this kid not admiring us or whatever? Like, he's like facing down, like, He's got other things. He's got his girlfriend, He's been going on countless days with her, they're having their happy times. Deku's learning how to cook. Believe it, Deku's learning how to cook. And that's literally unbelievable. Like, I learned how to cook, and I am thing. As All Might is, Deku is kind of ordered All Might to try and find someone. Basically ordered because he's basically a sensei. To order him to find people who would be at least a good candidate. And Muriel did pop up on Deku's list, but he didn't know who Muriel was because Muriel was letting someone All Might mention because he was going to be a person that he was going to give one for all to. And he's told All Might, okay, we'll just look into him just a bit more before we give it to him. You don't, give it before you give it to him. Basically, Deku has been busy, staying up all night trying to edit the power. Because if he gives it to Muriel, it can be pretty obvious. And if it turns Muriel into an adult, it's going to be very bad for him. Because All Might sees that he's just an adult now. Screw it. Just have him be an adult. Be an adult. No, screw it. Let's have him be an adult. I'm not going to mess with anything. I'm not going to mess with anything. Make this power like extremely OP, bro. I would, knowing me, I probably would. Anyway, I'm gonna have the power edit him just a little bit, cause not to throw All Might off even more. Anyway, yeah. Basically, Muriel's on Deku's list on who can give the power to. Cause why not? And as soon as they point out that Muriel's name, that catches Deku's attention because he's like looking up, and Muriel's like notices like, he's interested. He wants to fight. He will get the fight. I'll face with chest and bolster on his heart. I'm pretty sure Deku might give Muriel power after the whole he loses his quirk thing, because No, he's not. No, he's not. He's gonna be a part of the Council of Wizards. You know, yeah, with the power. Yeah, why not? The new edition, because Muriel seems like a worthy candidate. Because what he did to save Erie was fucking worthy. He's worthy. He's worthy. He is worthy. And next thing you have is Muriel summoning a hammer out of the goddamn sky. Actually, if you want that to happen, have everyone in My Hero Academia have Thor powers or whatever the hell, or Avengers powers. Anyway, you know, Muriel's like on his list. Like, he takes interest in Muriel, and like, like Muriel, they challenge him to a fight. Like, Deku's like, haha, finally. One thing I understand, Flash, you know the Justice League Dark thing. I'm not sure if Flash had the ability to phase on or phase activated. Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. I'm not sure if he could phase in, but if he could, he wouldn't have gotten his ass clapped, bro, or gotten his ass kicked, fucking captured. If he learned how to phase, he probably would have been a lot better, like Grant Gustin's Flash did. If he learned how to phase, he wouldn't have been in that situation, bro. Anyways, no, like they go to fight the big three, you know, like, Muriel's phasing and everything. Like, what the hell? Like, Deku's like, what the hell, man? And before you even think, Deku's already on his ass trying to get rid of him before anything else goes wrong. As his foot went through Muriel's head, he's like, okay. And Muriel's not wasting any time. Deku's not wasting time. As Muriel was like, okay. As Deku swings Muriel swings his leg around and hit ground hit him. Deku sees his chance as he speeds his arm up so he can catch it. And to catch Muriel off guard, he's like,